Hey everybody, hope you are having a wonderful day. We're going to get into our rational expressions unit. So this week we're going to talk about simplifying. Today, just kind of taking one and breaking it down. Tomorrow we'll talk about multiplying and dividing. It's actually easier than adding and subtracting. And Wednesday we'll tackle adding and subtracting. Thursday we can review or take your quiz. Friday we'll definitely take our quiz if you did not take it on Thursday. So that's kind of what we're looking at this week. So let's take a look at simplifying rational expressions. So what we're going to start off with is a rational expression. I kind of need my pen to work, but it's okay. So a rational expression your first blanks is the quotient. So remember, quotient is division of two polynomials. So a rational expression is the quotient of two polynomials. So we're dividing two polynomials and simplifying those. We just finished working with those, and now our questions will include two stacked on top of each other. So because rational expressions are ratios of polynomials, all the operations will work the same way as regular fractions. The only catch is that we have to state any x values that make a rational undefined. So what we call these are called excluded values. Sometimes you hear these as restricted as well. R-E-S-T-R-I-C-T-E-D. So basically, the denominator can never equal 0. So what does undefined mean? The denominator can never equal 0. I don't know why I put it all the way over there. All right. So let's look at a few of these. Today we're just going to talk about simplifying. Make sure we understand what's going on. We'll practice these. And then tomorrow we'll get into multiplying and dividing. So here, simplify and identify any excluded value. So let's look at this. Numbers, you're going to treat the same way. Remember with exponents, when we're dividing, let me switch those around. When we divide exponents, D-I-V-I-D-E, and that's an arrow, we subtract. So anytime we're dividing exponents, remember we subtract. So here, let's look at the first one. We got 3x to the 7th over 2x to the 4th. So 3 and 2, my numbers, those can't simplify, so I'm just going to leave them. Remember with your exponents here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1, 2, 3, 4. We cancel those. I got 3 left over, so it's 3 up top. So I could have done the 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 is positive, so it stays up top. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, 2 is in my denominator. There is no variable, so I am finished there. My answer is good to go. All right, let's look at, let's just go across, make it easier. That way we'll have easy ones and hard ones mixed in. So 3x plus 4, if I'm going to look at this one, that one is already simplified. I can't do anything to that. The bottom, I have to factor it. So 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 and 1. So what factors of negative 4 give me 1? So that's a positive 4 and a negative 3. So remember down here I got x plus 4 and x minus 3. I had an a term, so I have to remember to divide that out. So 3x plus 4 and x minus 1. All right, so we have to make sure we are still doing a great job at factoring. Okay, so what we have when we're simplifying, excuse me. So right here when we do this here, I'm going to set these. X cannot equal negative 4/3 or 1. This is my excluded values. So what I did is after I factored it, I set each parentheses equal to 0 and solve for x. So minus 4 plus 3, we get that. We get negative 4/3. And then we add one on the other side. So those are my excluded values. These always need to be listed. And you want to do that before you simplify. Now, when I simplify, I have this parentheses and this parentheses up top. So my answer here is 1 over x minus 1, where x cannot equal negative 4/3 or 1. All right, cool. I guess if you go back to the first one, I should have done that first. In the very beginning, I canceled it. X cannot equal 0. Because in the very beginning, if you plugged in 0, it's not going to work. That's my fault. All right, let's look at E. So I'm going to factor the top, factor the bottom. So up top, I got what factors a negative 3 give you 1. That's a positive 3 and a negative 1. So up top, I got x plus 3 and x minus 1. That is completely backwards. Let me do that. That was just wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. So negative 3 and negative 2. So it's negative 3 and positive 1. So x minus 3 and x plus 1. There we go. That's a lot better. No idea what I did. What factors of 4 give you 5? 4 and 1. So x plus 4, x plus 1. So looking here, I know that x cannot equal negative 4 or negative 1. Just the denominator. Now I can simplify. So these are going to cancel. So my answer here is going to be x minus 3 over x plus 4, where x cannot equal negative 4 or negative 1. Cool? All right. Let's go down to B. So back kind of starting over, let's look at this. So here, I'm just going to simplify. I know x cannot equal 0. 16 divided by 8 is 2 over 1. So those cancel. We're good to go. 11 minus 2 is 9. So I just get 2x to the 9th. Everything is gone on the bottom. So we're good to go. So my answer here is 2x to the 9th, where x cannot equal 0. That's my excluded value. Cool? All right, for D, pay close attention here. You cannot cancel out these. That is bad. Okay? You have to factor it, and you have to cancel out an entire section. So an entire factor has to cancel out. You cannot cancel or factor anything if there is a plus or minus like that. That is your hint. That is your warning. So let's look at the top. So 6 times 2 is 12 and 7. So that's 4 and 3. So x plus 4 and x plus 3. Remember, I have that 6 here, so I have to divide by 6. So x plus 2/3 and x plus 1/2. So that gives me a 3x plus 2 and a 2x plus 1. All right, let's look at the bottom. So 6 times negative 6 is negative 36 to get a negative 5. So that's a 9, negative 9 and a positive 4. So x minus 9 and x plus 4. I had that 6 once again, so divide by 6. So x minus 3/2 and x plus 2/3. Now, we'll take these up here. Remember, we kicked the bottom up, so I got a 2x minus 3, and I got a 3x plus 2. So here, my excluded values, I'm going to start here. My excluded values. Remember, the denominator cannot equal 0. I don't know what's going on. So x cannot equal 3/2, and it cannot equal negative 2/3. Now, is there anything I can cancel up here? 3x plus 2 is up top and bottom. So my final answer here is going to be a 2x plus 1 over 2x minus 3. And my excluded values here, x cannot equal 3/2, and x cannot equal negative 2/3. All right, let's jump over here to F. Oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff. It's all good. So let's factor the top. So what factors a 10? This one's easy. Subtract to give you 3, x plus 5, and x minus 2. There's no a term, so you can just do that one in your head. I think you're smart enough to do that. If not, write it out, get your chart, and go from there. All right. Down at the bottom, I have 4 terms, so remember I have to group it. So I can take out an x squared here. That's going to leave me with an x plus 5. 4 and 20 I can take out a 4. Remember, since I took out that minus right here, I have to change the sign. So x plus 5 and x squared minus 4. This right here, that's your difference of squares. You should start to see that from now. So x plus 2, x minus 2, and x plus 5. So x plus 5, x plus 2, and x minus 2. So I have it completely factored up top. So I know my excluded values here. X cannot equal negative 5, it cannot equal 2, and it cannot equal negative 2. Now, is there anything I can cancel? Yes, I have a plus 5, I have a minus 2. So my answer here is just going to be 1 over x plus 2. And I'm done. So 1 over x plus 2, where x cannot equal negative 5, x cannot equal 2, and x cannot equal negative 2. All right, let's look at a couple. If your factors are almost identical but the signs are off, factor out a negative 1. These are kind of tricky here. All right, so let's look here. Up top, I got a GCF. So up top, I can take out a 2. If I take out a 2, that's going to leave me with a 5 minus x over x minus 5. So if you look at these parentheses here, you see how those signs are just opposite? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a negative 1. So if I take out a negative 1, that makes that a negative 2 up top, but it allows me to change these signs. Okay? So if I look at this, if I flip this around, that's x minus 5. And now you're allowed to cancel this out. So here I have my answer here is going to be negative 2, and my excluded value x cannot equal 5. Cool? So that's just a little trick. If everything's the same but your signs are backwards, factor out a negative 1. So that becomes that negative 2. That negative 1 allows you to change these signs. So let's look at one of these. The biggest things are going to be here on the top. If your a is negative, that's going to be a trick that you're definitely going to have to do that. So if I just take out my GCF, I'm just going to take out an x so I can show you this. So negative x plus 3. And you can see that's kind of a dead giveaway. You're going to end up taking out the negative. On the bottom, 2 times 3 is 6, negative 7, so negative 6 and negative 1. So x minus 6, x minus 1. Remember, there's a 2 there. So I had x minus 3 and a 2x minus 1. All right, now when we're looking at this, see how these are opposite signs? So I'm going to take out a negative x now, and that's going to allow me to change these signs. All right, and let's look at our answer here. So those are going to cancel, so I have negative x over 2x minus 1. My excluded values, x cannot equal 3, and x cannot equal 1/2. Cool? All right, so take a look at this. If you have questions, as always, let me know. I hope I slowed down enough for you today. I'm working on it. But there is your notes. If I come over here to the practice, it's just 10 quick questions. I posted the key online for you to check it. Work through these, please. Don't just skip over it. You're going to struggle tomorrow if you don't practice these. It's just 10. Practice on your own. Check your answers. If you need me, please let me know. Tomorrow, we're going to get into multiplying and dividing. So it's going to pick it up a little bit, and we'll have a couple quick checks on E-Class the rest of this week. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you need anything, please let me know, and I'll be glad to help you out.